Every single one of these looks was created using only 3 nodes. And in this video, I'm gonna prove it to you that if you know what you're doing, all you need is only 3 nodes. Most of you that are following my journey already know that I went to school for cinematography, minored in editing, and then we ended up here. Out of all the fields in filmmaking, color grading was the most daunting, it was the hardest, and it's for a simple reason. Color grading is like staring at a blank canvas. There are 10 trillion different possibilities, and that's where a lot of people overdo things, overcook their looks. Because there's so much available in Resolve, a lot of beginners think that in order to create a good look, I must use anything and everything. That's like saying in a kitchen to a chef, everything is available. But if a chef puts all the ingredients in the same dish, I don't need to tell you how it's going to come out. So to help you get there faster, instead of taking 15 years that this guy took, I want to challenge you. I came up with this discipline that I want you to follow for 2 weeks. It's a 2-week challenge, if you will. What I want you to do is watch every single thing that I show you in this video. I'm gonna be sticking with very specific tools and parameters. I'm going to be working using only 3 nodes every single shot. We're gonna have 3 completely different shots, and we're going to come up with impeccable looks. Limited tools, limited nodes. I want you to do exactly that for 2 weeks straight, and I promise you, you will learn more in those 2 weeks than you have in the last 2 years. I swear to God, I so wish that somebody was there on the other side when I was consuming content to give me this advice. And before we begin, it will mean the world to me if you like the video so we can reach more people. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This helps me and my team to stay fired up and keep putting out content for you guys. For those that don't know me, my name is Qazi. I've worked with brands like Adidas, Amazon Prime, Universal Studios, and I make no bullshit straightforward color grading tutorials so you can work with your dream clients. All right, so we're inside Resolve now, and we have 3 completely different shots. So we have an exterior shot, we have this neon lit interior shot, and we have this super moody, another interior shot with the window light coming through, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create my initial look based on this. We're going to paste that look into our other clips, and then we're just going to modify it based on each setting. As promised, we're gonna be working with 3 nodes only. We're trying to restrict the amount of nodes and tools we should use. That's the entire name of this exercise, okay? Do not consider these 2 because this is just our input and output device transform. You can even set that up in your settings and don't even need these nodes, but you know, your boy likes to have the most amount of control. So that's why I work with my color science in a node-based system. So that's what we got going on over here. So if I just click right here, you will see it's RE footage converted to DaVinci Wide Gamut, and then DaVinci Wide Gamut converted to Rec 709. Pretty simple. Same thing is gonna be happening for these clips, okay? We're gonna start off with this shot, let's just say. Okay, and if I park right here, the first thing that just jumps out to me, even just looking at the shot and not even my scopes, is that there's a lot of red in my sky. Overall, there's just like this red magenta dominant shot, and we can just see that. So for this particular one, in our HDR palette, we're going to use our global offset because this is going to give us the cleanest results, almost if these changes were made in camera. Let's pull that magenta red out of our image. So I'm gonna go under my global and I'm gonna start pulling it down a little bit. Right now, my focus honestly is just on the shoes right here. So I wanna keep it realistic because we're gonna have some warmth from the sun during the day, but I want to, let's just make it super sterile first and then add some of that warmth back in. So this is like pretty clean. We're going in a very, very clean direction. So if we want to add a little bit of warmth, we are going to take it into this direction. So even if we do before and after, like look at this, and we made the blue looking blue again. Because like before it was just so much red and magenta, and now finally it's looking blue, okay? So to me, to my eyes, just looking at it from this screen to that screen, That's my calibrated monitor. It looks pretty good. I mean, we can bring just a tiny bit magenta back into our shot if we want to. So we can just do that. And even something like this that has a little bit more magenta, so it's a lot more neutral. So that is the first part that is done. We want to make these broad stroke changes, okay? Please listen to me, stick with these specific tools that I'm showing you here, because if you really want to get good at this, just get in there and perfect these little things using these exact parameters and tools, and you'll just see such a massive change within 2 weeks, okay? Now, this particular shot has a very healthy amount of contrast, so I feel like I don't really necessarily need to mess with that at all. And that's the first thing that I want to attack just from this shot. The next thing that I want to do is the second node, we're going to use it for our corrector node. So this one will include anything. It could be lift gamma gain if we want to add like a specific sort of change to our image. If we want to add RGB values using our lift gamma gain, we're going to be in here. If we want to use our windows, we're going to do that here. So in this particular example, there's not enough focus on her. Sure, she's in the middle of the frame. Yes, I get it. But I feel like having the image evenly lit through and through doesn't really make my eyes go to her. So to put more emphasis on her, first of all, I need to see the source, like where the light is coming from. Look at the shadows. Always look at like what's happening in your environment, and the shadow will tell you where the sun is. So the sun is right here, and that also makes sense because this is brighter than any other part of the image. So given that, I'm going to create a window like this, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger like that. I'm going to put it right here. So basically the sun is coming through there, right? We're mimicking that. And now I'm just going to feather it. I wanna go in my windows and I just wanna soften it up quite a bit. And now I wanna go ahead and invert it, okay? So I'm selecting everything outside of that. And now I just wanna go in my gamma and I wanna start pulling it down. I wanna put it somewhere around here. I wanna go pretty strong, okay? Because do we need to feather it out a little bit more? Yeah, it helps. Do we wanna? Yep, this helps. So if I do before and after, I don't need to move it. I don't need to move it because she's in the center, okay? And if I do before and after, and if I just get rid of my window, and if I do before and after, that is a pretty solid change, okay? So like this is before, after. So if I take these two, you see the amount of changes that we're making in our image just using the simplest tools, and it is bringing everything to life. It's pretty insane how much you can do with so little inside Resolve, and that is the entire point of this exercise. I want to show you guys how, when you have a better command over each and specific tool inside Resolve, you can go so much further than using 20 different things to achieve the smallest result. Before we move on to more mind-blowing stuff, I just want to say, if you're working on a project and you turn in your work and your client doesn't call you back, you are 100% making one of these 5 mistakes. I have an absolutely free training, 1 hour long. The value packed in there might as well be worth 3 months worth of content. So you do not want to miss that. We only have few spots left for this month. So link is going to be in the description. Check it out after you finish watching this video. So for the look, like I said, I want to build my look on this shot. Why? Because overall, this is pretty good where it's at in terms of the balancing, in terms of the exposure. This is a poster child shot. So you always want to build your looks on a pretty evenly lit neutral shot, okay? Because then when you apply that look to different clips, as long as the other clips are balanced, everything is going to fall into place, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. For our look, we're going to restrict ourselves to these tools: custom curves and our HSL curves, color slice, and color warper. That's it. Okay, so we're gonna be just sticking with these. We're not even getting into qualifier. Again, guys, stick with these for 2 weeks. Practice. 5,000 different shots, bunch of different projects. When it comes to look, you're going to be using these 3 tools only. When it comes to corrector, You're going to be using Windows, you're going to be using lift gamma gain, whatever is available right here. When it comes to primaries, you're going to be using your HDR palette right here for global changes, broad changes, and then you're going to be using your lift gamma gain if necessary. Okay, so let's build that look. So the one thing that I need to do when I use my custom curves to build my look is I want to make sure that I lock in my 18% gray. I have a whole video on that. You can check it out. Link is going to be in the description. You should definitely check it out if you don't know what this is. But I want to lock my 18% gray. So then when I build my look, I'm confident that I'm not messing with the intended exposure. Every DP and director has a certain exposure in mind, certain look in mind. You don't want to mess with that. So let's just say this is the sweet spot. This is where they want it. And it's great because nothing is getting lost in translation. We got information in the shadows, we got information in the highlights, and nothing looks blown out or nothing looks super low con. Everything has the right amount of contrast. This is exactly where I want it, okay? So if that's the case, how do we do our 18% gray? You can Google and find out a free DCTL or something like that that can help you nail your 18% gray. What I'm gonna be using is this DCTL called QT Charts. Okay, this is the ultimate utility DCTL for DaVinci Resolve. Genuinely the best utility out there. Obviously, you can download the demo. Link is going to be in the description if you want to give it a shot. But that's what I'm going to be using, and it makes just doing things like that absolutely surgically perfect. So I'm just going to click on mid gray, and it's going to create this line. And that's my 18% gray right here. All I have to do, just go to this node where I'm going to be building my look, and I just hold shift and I click, and it creates this point without manipulating my curve. And that's my 18% gray that is locked. This is it. We're done with this. So now reset it. Go back to this. Our 18% is locked. And now we can just start having fun with it. So what I want to do is I want to lift my blacks up a little bit to have this matted look on the low end. And then I want to create like a very nice, almost like I'm thinking Adidas commercial. Like, you know, you would see this sort of juice if you think about those commercials. But then I want to have a little bit of top end. I want to have a little bit of punch on my top end. So I'm just like looking at this area right here and the contrast between this area. So if we do before and if we do after, like look at how dramatic this is. And doesn't it look like an Adidas commercial? And everything is locked in. Nothing is blown out. I mean, look at my parade. Everything is protected, right? So if we want to just kind of go easy, we can. But I like this. I like this punch. I think it's really, really cool. Now, the only problem that I'm seeing here is this right here. So that was sort of there before too, but now it's amplified. So let's control that. We're going to jump straight into our color slice. We're going to go under our blue, and let's just see if the density can help us with that. Density doesn't want to help us as much. So let's go under saturation for that blue, and let's pull it down. Let's not get rid of it. Let's just pull it down to something like that and it's cleaned up. Okay, that looks really, really good. What else do we want to do? I think what we want to do is just we want to give our skin a little bit more rosy, like magenta, just a tiny bit more. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start doing just that. So I want to go just a little bit there. Not, it's doing just a touch, the right amount. Okay, so this is looking good. What happens, I don't want to mess with my cyan or greens here because what's going to happen is that it's going to start creating artifacting. So just be very careful what you do. But if you just want to play with it and see what it can do, you can do all of this and just like really see what's happening. So see, like it started introducing a little bit of artifacting. Although I got to tell you, it is pretty good. It's still doing it in a very, very controlled way. Like, look at this. Like you can get away with it if you don't pixel peep. So all of this is good. I mean, look at this. So here I do want to make some adjustments. So I want to add a little bit more color. And then I want to, do we want to make it bright or do we want to just keep it somewhere around here? And that's also adding the same thing to his skin, just enough to make him pop. Now I want to go under my color warper. And guys, the thing about these two tools, why am I letting you mess with these three tools? Because by Resolve 20, they have matured. They are so robust. You can do so much push and pull and have so much fun with it, all I want to do is I want to click right here and see if I can maybe just add a little bit more blue like this. And then I want to just grab this, his hoodie, and I want to add a little bit of mango. Like this is Lamborghini yellow. That's like that mango yellow. And if you look at this, like we just get the right amount of color contrast. Everything starts to pop. Nothing is looking unrealistic. It's all great. Can we go back in our contrast and just maybe ease off like this? This looks way better. Okay, good. Now, one thing that I want to check that I should have checked is throw my QT charts again, go to gray. And what I want to see is this line. So it should have been right here, but now it's right here. So it has moved down just a little bit. So we're going to go in our HDR palette and we're going to crank it up. And by 0.5, it just locks it in. So now it's perfect. Okay. So this is it. Like, or maybe 0.4. This is it. So now it took care of it. Now we can just delete that. So here's our look that we built by using our custom curves to create this overall very gentle curve. Then we went in, color slice, cleaned some things up, right? Cleaned it up. And then we went into our color warper and added that. Another thing that we can do is we can swing our hue of our cyan right here. And look at, just like that, we can create some really, really interesting effect right here. So like, look what we're doing right there. So that's looking pretty good. We can also make it dense or raise it up. So even something like that is looking pretty cool. So we can just like leave it right there. This is looking really good. So this is the secret sauce to creating really good looks that can be applied on anything. Make sure everything is balanced. Build your look, push it. Wherever you want to take it, as long as it is done on a pretty neutral shot, it should be a success, regardless of the camera or the type of footage that you're working with. I'm so pumped for you guys to take on this challenge. I want you to tag me at the Qazman on Instagram so I can share your work on my stories. Let's get back into it. Now I'm just gonna grab this. I'm gonna go to this shot that we were working on and I'm going to paste it here. And just look at this. It is holding up. This is what I was trying to tell you. If you create your look on a well-balanced shot, it will always translate really well as it is. So what can we do here? Let's try to make a few changes here. So I can go back into my cyan, my sky, and leave it somewhere around here. I can go in my blue and leave it to something like this. So now we have a pretty nice thing happening. Is the red getting a little too nuclear? So what we can do is pull the saturation down, but give it more density, right? So that's always the sweet spot. Just give it more density and pull the saturation down. Maybe pull this back a little bit. Like right here. All of this looks very, very good. Do we want to make any other changes? We can always go in here and reset this. And then let's just see if we click right here and if we start messing with this. If we want to give it a little bit more color, a little bit more life, we can easily do that. I mean, just look at what we did. Just such a simple change for this particular shot. And just like, look at, this is before, this is after. This is our look now. It looks so freaking good. And guys, come on. Like the Rec 709 was looking pretty good when we started. And just like, come on. This is what I'm saying. We were being so surgical about it. So primaries fixed a huge problem because now if I turn it off, you see how bad that is. That's why I didn't build the look on this one, because I wanted to show you why it is so important to build a look on a well-balanced shot, and then it can be applied everywhere. So all those freaking nerds from my Sony versus Panasonic video that are still probably just pooping their pants in the comment section, the Reddit losers never get old. The trolls never get old with their shit. But basically, if you create a look properly, you can apply it to anything, balance your shot, and bam, it should be a jackpot. case in point. Now that we got this going on, we can go to this shot. So the look is amazing. I am happy with it. What can we do in our corrector? So in my corrector, what I want to do is, where's the light source? The light source is up here. So in this one, I want to do one of these numbers. I want to just create something like this, put it right here, spread it out to something like this. Okay. I'm going to invert it and I'm going to soften the hell out of it. And then Shift H, we're gonna go back. And this time I want to do something different. What if we take our lift and kill it and just like really create a moody look? So now our focus is on him. Everything else is super dark. And then boom, right? So yes, I know it's pretty aggressive, but let's just say that's the vibe. That's what we're going for. So yeah, I know it's aggressive, but if I do before and after, it's stylized and I'm with it. But it really works in this shot. And since this one was a pretty well-balanced shot, we don't need to do anything with that. What about this one? Okay, let's bring this over here because overall exposure and balance is looking pretty good. Not going to lie. I'm looking at this right here and it is not bad at all. So let's apply the grade and this is where we end up. Let's go in here, make a few changes. So I'm gonna reset this. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to reset skin and this is where we are. Okay, fine. Not bad, not bad. I like that there's a little bit of undertone, like green undertones and then like gold skin tones. I like that. That's pretty good. Now let's do something extreme. So I'm gonna click right here, select this area, and let's just add like a very, very crazy, I'm thinking, so maybe pull it back a little bit. I'm thinking like Children of Men green, right? Like if I pop up, I'm going to have my editor pop up some images right here. Like I'm thinking that sort of green, right? Like it is amazing. I love it. This is great. Now, if we just go back here in the skin right here, and can we rotate it? Do we want to go somewhere with this? All right. I like it a little bit more bronze in the skin. This looks pretty good. If we just want to get kind of crazy with it, like what do we want to do? Do we want to give it some color? Do we want to pull back? We're going for a pretty extreme look. Now in the corrector, I want to do something crazy. Okay, so what am I talking about? What I want to do is this. I want to go in my lift and I just want to kind of pull a little bit more of that green, that right here. And then I want to go in my gain and I just want to add that bronze. Okay. And then I want to go in my gain and just kind of cool it off so everything blends in. And if I do before and after, you see like right here, it was just sort of like cake on, and now it's all blending in. It's all kind of like coming together. Okay. And I like that very much. So if I go right here, this right here, and if I just take these, and if I do before and after, come on guys, look at the gold hair, the gold, beautiful, gorgeous skin tones. Look at that green. Nothing looks cake on. You see why this was so important, this corrector node, to bring it all together? Because this is sort of like looking digital. It's just like very tacked on. But like this right here, chef's kiss. It's these intricate things. That's why I want you to do what I want you to do. Stick with these specific parameters and tools and just practice, 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 practice until you start having these eurekas. It's just gonna be like one brain explosion, then another. And all of a sudden, you're just going to become full-blown professional colorists because they're no different than you. They just have more hours put in. They're no different than you. They're just smarter to stick with the fundamentals, stick with the tools that work. They're no smarter than you. But what they got going on is years of failures that they've learned from so they can easily avoid it and just focus on the main thing. Let the main thing be the main thing. So there you have it. You know your homework now. 2 weeks. Use these exact tools in the way that I showed you. Only 3 nodes. Work on it for 2 weeks, multiple projects, bunch of different shots. tag me on Instagram at the Cosman. I will make sure to share it on my story and send some love your way. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any content suggestions, drop them down below. Do not forget to check out the training. Link is in the description. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, fam.